It's time to wake up. The show's about to start with lots of stories about poo and a bit of heart when it comes to Joanne. Woo! No, you won't find no faults, but if you're messing with the bull, you might get the show. It's time for Mornin. It's Morning with Bill and Joe. It's time for Mornin. It's gonna be a heck of a show. It's Bill and Joe. Bill and Joe.
Hello and welcome to Mornin with Bill and Joe. I'm Joe.
And I'm Bill.
Great. You are, in fact, you are 50-year-old Bill?
Really? You know what? I almost feel like we should take it from the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm 30.
Wow, no one would believe that.
See, in my mind's eye, I feel like I don't look that much different from, say, I don't know, 40 at least. But that's pretty much what everyone tells me.
No, but don't they say that 50 is the new 40?
No, they say 50 is real close to death. I believe that's the term. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's way past middle age.
Excellent.
I mean, if like I'm some sort of Jeff Bezos guy or something like that, maybe, and I'm really, really investing a lot of money into life extension, sure, 50 could be the new middle age, but someone like me, no.
Yeah. How
Very close to death.
How was your birthday? How did you celebrate? I see you are not in New York.
I like the alliteration. Also, that's the title of my new Lifetime show. Not in New York. It's lovely.
How did you get a Lifetime show before me?
I wrote a great script.
Damn
I should have told you audition. But there was just no role for a girl. Very, very gay friendly. But for my birthday, thanks for remembering, I guess, aside from the old jokes. I took myself on a date. I didn't know that didn't do anything, but it's a very appropriate movie for a man of a certain age. Nobody 2. I actually sent a graphic Fan made of me as Bob Odenkirk in the first movie that people can enjoy and I knew you would like it because it's me getting really, really beat up. But yeah, it's like Bob Odenkirk, and he, believe it or not, he's even older than I am, White Sox fan from Chicago. He's got a wife, kids, beaten down by life, but he's also secretly, and boy, this isn't a well-worn trope, an assassin.
Wow.
And kicks all kinds of ass. And Joe, here's the important part.
Okay.
Most of the ass he kicks, they're way younger than him. So there's lots of funny ways that he kills and hurts people. I wouldn't say it's a straight-up comedy. It's basically an action film. But there's a lot of funny parts, and nobody, too, is, even though, again, everyone's sick of the whole, he's an assassin, but he's got a heart of gold or a secret life, like that whole Hollywood thing that they keep regurgitating.
Yeah.
In this one, he's really trying to focus on being a good dad and everything and balance the work and family. And in this one, it's all the same crap that happened in Nobody Won, but they're on, wait for it, vacation.
Wow.
Yes, it's great. And even in the trailer, they play the Vacation Holiday Road theme song to sort of get us in the mood. But let's just say things go down.
Well, I was going to say,
sailing at Wisconsin Dells.
Wouldn't National Lampoon's Vacation, the first one, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Wouldn't imagine it where Clark Griswold was an assassin. That would be a totally different movie.
And also, like, a really great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, as dumb as the assassin thing. I mean, I still haven't watched that Bill Hader show on HBO. What was it? Becker or whatever his name.
Oh, I don't know.
You know, he's another like. You know what I'm talking about? He's an assassin, but he wants to be an actor.
Barry, I think it's called.
Yes, thank you. I haven't watched it for that reason because I'm so sick of that plot point. He's an assassin, but in this case, I'll let it slide because Bob Odenkirk is old, like me.
Yeah.
But it was great. So I was just in the movie theater by myself. Sees the day it premiered, and I haven't gone to a movie in a long time, and that was really fun. And then the next day, much to my I feel horribly guilty because the restaurant was expensive, but I don't feel guilty because I said at least 30 times that I don't want to do this. But the family took me out for dinner the next night, so that was nice.
Where'd you go?
I don't almost want to say it. It's so unbelievably expensive. The Central Park Boathouse. I also said that I would go to Jersey and come to them multiple times.
Yeah,
and this fell on deaf ears.
I've never been to the restaurant in Central Park.
Me neither. I have been there. Wait for it, for the bar. I did that about 25 years ago. But it's really. Oh, I almost should have said this, but it's really pretty. It's where the people have the rowboats. Lots of movie scenes have been there.
There's a Sex and the City episode that shot there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievably overpriced. But there's an outdoor bar there that's nice and everything. And the day before, they had to call FDNY for an emergency where 2 people fell off their canoe. And the pictures, I should have found this for you because the pictures are hilarious because it's like, you feel like FDNY has something better to do because you look at the people and the overturned canoe and they're standing in the water. Like they're not even waiting.
That is really funny.
What a waste of resources. But I missed it by about 6 hours. I think it was that day because it was on Instagram. It wasn't even on the local news. That was a bad birthday present.
It would have been funny if it happened on your birthday and like you turn to your brother or whoever and you're like, "Did you stage this for me? Are these paid actors?"
Right. Yes. Best birthday present ever. But I'll send it to you afterwards. It's pretty funny. But how about you? What's going on with you?
Lots of work stuff.
Ugh. See, that's the birthday present I want.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if my patience is wearing thin.
No, you have to have patience for it to be worn thin.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But, as I'm starting to have more responsibility,
sure.
I am now getting more frustrated when things aren't done in a timely fashion or like things are becoming difficult for me because someone else, isn't on top of X, Y, or Z. Do you know what I mean?
All of this tracks.
And it's really making me
sitting for this brain buster.
It makes me realize like I could never be a manager of anything or some sort of higher up position because you then have to oversee tons of things and delegate. And I would much rather do everything myself because I am the only person I can trust. This just speaks to my trust issues, I think.
Yeah, but it also just speaks to your hatred of people. In fact, you're just kind of a misanthrope and super weird. But yeah, no, the mistrust issues for sure. Yeah, the one time that it was completely me that was in charge was, and it was very weird. And I only really bring this up to remind people that I used to be young. But I was, we got such bad press for it, and it was unfair because, basically, I took a sojourn from Maxim and stuff to start a kids magazine, and I was the editor-in-chief.
This was your idea?
No, they picked me, and I was off for 6 months, and I had my own office. That's even weirder to me.
I mean, first of all, for you to self-start a magazine, I should have known that was not it. But then for someone to have seen you and your work and thought children is crazy.
I think they just kind of thought I was a man baby, but I was not even 30. I think I was probably 28, 27, and I was the editor-in-chief, and I had a very small staff. And much like you, because I've always said, and you love hearing it, weirdly, you and I are a bit alike. No. I just ended up writing the entire magazine because I just didn't trust anyone else to have the same voice that I wanted. I didn't want to talk down to these kids. I never read Sports Illustrated for kids. I read Sports Illustrated. And even if I didn't understand what they were talking about, I felt like an adult and cool by just even reading those words. For kids was always lost on me. Meanwhile, Keith Kelly, he was a famous media scribe, the Post would make fun of this thing because they're like, Maxim for kids? That's illegal. No, it's Dennis Publishing. Condé Nast makes Vogue. They also make Vanity Fair. Like, it's just like, it was just, no, this is Dennis Publishing, but that was the thing that people were going with. And so I wrote 99.9% of the entire thing. And luckily I had enough of time to do it where that was okay. And I had an art director who was from Manchester, and it took about 2 weeks for me to understand his accent. And the managing editor, who's sort of like the drill sergeant, he was about 25 years older than me. Everyone was older than me. And then I had one other assistant editor and one other girl that was also working in the art department. That was the staff. And right before we were about to go to press, Felix Dennis, head of Dennis Publishing, comes in the United States. And at that point, I forget, it might have been the week that was losing money, which is ironic. It's the only magazine that's still basically with Dennis Publishing. It's one of the few successful ones. He comes to America, and this was all his idea. He wanted to do the kids magazine, and he had to do a bunch of cuts. And so we're all in this big meeting. He's like, as much as it pains me to say this. And again, the pages were being printed.
Yeah.
I have one copy of this magazine. He's like, I don't even want to look at it because it makes me feel terrible, but for the budget cuts, we can't run the magazine. And I'm just like, please just come upstairs and look at it. Cause I thought it was pretty good. And it was so crushing. And then, long-winded way of saying I understand what you're saying, but then and then 2 weeks later I just went back to stuff.
But like
nothing had ever happened.
Talk about mismanagement. You're putting all this stuff into a new venture, and then you don't even follow through on the first edition of that venture.
There was a lot of that in the early 2000s.
Like, who didn't do their job? Who fucked up?
I still
they were like, we have the money, and then it was like, whoops, no, we don't. Like, and they get to keep their job? That's nuts.
Not to mention the fact that I was allowed to hire freelancers. And again, I did it. I tried to save as much as I possibly could. I wrote the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the one nice thing about being editor-in-chief is like Brian Urlacher was a great linebacker for the Bears. Guess who our guy feature was? I'm just like, I want to talk to Brian Urlacher.
Oh, I thought it was a bear.
Yeah. Well, but then that would have been a better idea. And like our car feature was the new Batmobile. Like I could do whatever I want. It was great. And like, so it fed into all my man baby, all the stuff I wanted in a kid's magazine I could do, which I guess is what an editor-in-chief is. But it was absolutely heartbreaking. And I took a very long vacation before I went back to stuff.
Oh, sure.
You know what? F them.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of childhood and birthdays.
Were we?
Yeah.
I'm old, so I have no memory.
Well, okay, so then this might be hard. Something that Douglas always likes to ask people on their birthdays, and so now I will ask you.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite childhood birthday, or is there a certain birthday celebration from your past that you remember as being like really great?
Collectively, we would always do our summer vacation going back to Nobody 2, and there were lots of shades of Nobody 2 in all of ours. We would go to this place called Door County. It was the Midwest version of the Jersey Shore.
Oh.
And we get like a little cabin for, might have been a week. Oh, they were amazing weeks. And it was in Wisconsin, right off of Lake Michigan. You slather on the SPF, lots of mosquitoes, and you go to all sorts of lakeside sea shanty, if it can be a sea by the lake places, and that would also always coincide with my birthday. And so everyone would schlep in our station wagon all my presents over there, and I was just the belle of the ball. And that's back when I liked birthdays and the attention, and I just get all my presents and get to do fun things in Door County. And the rich people went to Lake Geneva. We went to Door County, but it was great. I've always wanted to go back to see what it's like. And in the funny thing is, Bob Odenkirk had a similar existence growing up in Chicago. And he went to Wisconsin Dells, which is this, it's almost a punchline, this place. It's like, I'm trying to think of the equivalent, but it's not like, it would be the equivalent of a carnival at Jersey Shore.
Okay.
But a bigger one. Yeah. And a very Midwestern one. And that's where and he changed the script. So instead of his family going to, I believe it was Brazil, they end up filming in Wisconsin Dells, and it's great because he kills a bunch of people at this theme park. And
spoiler.
Sorry, but Wisconsin Dells was nearby. We never went there, but we were too busy on the beach.
Going back to Nobody 2, on our drive back from Boston, we listened to, I think it's Mike Birbiglia's podcast.
Yes.
He had Bob Odenkirk on.
Oh,
and he talked about filming. I mean, really just the scope of his career, but then also filming Nobody 2 and how he sort of made the transition to like action star. And he talks about his, like when he would watch the takes he would do of these fight things. And I think he said at some point, I don't want to misquote him because it was a really interesting take, but something to the effect of like, the audience has to keep rooting for you. Like, even if you're getting beat up or things are happening, like you still have to come out on top if like you're the main person in the film.
Sure. Yeah.
But he has some really good insight. You know, he also talks about his time writing for SNL, which I had never seen the Down by the River sketch before.
The van down by
or the van.
You are large amount younger than I am.
Yeah.
But yes, that was because Lorne Michaels would always say everyone's favorite cast is the one that they had when they went to high school, as far as SNL is concerned. That was my sweet spot. So, I remember all the Chris Farley sketches. Yes.
Yeah. But apparently they did that sketch once Bob Odenkirk had left.
Brutal.
Yeah. But he received credit and got paid for it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But no, it is a good episode. And
he must have been in Second City at the same time as Chris Farley then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And he was performer on Second City, writer for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But yeah. I listened to him on. I love that this whole show has just become a promotional vehicle for Bob Odenkirk.
Truly.
But I listened to him on Conan, and he said that apparently the first Nobody there was a lot of delays. They weren't sure if it was going to be made, so it allowed him long time to train and work out and prepare for all of this stuff that obviously he'd never done before. If anything, if people knew him from acting, they maybe have known him from Mr. Show or Saul from Better Call Saul and obviously Breaking Bad. But the whole time he told Cody, he's like, man, so I'm like, it goes into a year, 2 year, it's development hell, but I've got this free trainer, so I'm going to use him, right? And the whole time I'm working out and learning how this self-defense, I just kept thinking, I can't wait for Conan O'Brien, Robert Smigel, and Adam Sandler, all these guys to just look at the screen and be like, what the fuck? Like, Bob's an action hero? Like, that so resonated with me.
Yeah.
The only thing that would keep me going is for you to wake up one day and then just see me on TV with an Uzi just mowing down people.
I would truly think I was tripping.
Mm-hmm. That's the goal. That's the way to live.
Well,
or the reason to live, I should say.
It's like no crap. What is the actor's name now? I can't think of it. But he was a comedy actor, and then he got super jacked up to play whatever action hero.
Oh, is it the Pakistani guy that was in the Marvel movie? Yeah, and he's still jacked. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
I mean, and the same thing with Chris. God, there's too many Chris's.
Oh, Chris Pratt. Yes. Went through a very overweight phase in Parks and Recreation and then became...
But it makes you wonder if, like, you can't really go back, right? After you've made this transition to hunk, I have to imagine that the attention feels really good and the double takes for your six-pack abs, that feels really good.
Yes.
So you can't really go back to being, like, funny chubby, right?
Well, the community prefers fubby. But, yeah, and there have been a couple of times where I've seen Chris Pratt, I'm like, ooh, he's kind of borderline going back. And you could tell, but I don't think it was something that he wanted to go back to. But, no, completely. And that's what I've always told you. Like, I found the thing that I loved about your industry so much is that you get paid to learn all these new skills. But you can sometimes also just get paid to have a personal trainer and get ripped. And
Yeah.
that's very appealing to me.
And also, if you have a good agent, you just have it written into your contract that they pay for, a chef, a
Personal
masseuse.
chef.
If you're
I don't
working
like
out
that.
a lot and you have the sore muscles, you could get daily massages, like all that stuff.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Oh God, in another life. I just want rock hard abs, Joe, and someone to teach me how to shoot an AK-47. I don't think I'm asking for much.
Hey, maybe by your next birthday, set a goal for yourself, Bill.
Look, the
Might as
important
well.
thing is that we're all the more closer to September, aka Joanne's birthday month.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We are
Look
getting
at you getting
close.
lost in your own birthday eyes.
Huh, yeah. Well, speaking of diets,
Okay.
11 Madison Park. We all know that I once spent my rent on a meal there. It is a Michelin
Oh yes.
starred, very fancy restaurant in New York City.
To this day, you're the only person I know that has been there.
Yeah, it was worth it. I highly enjoyed it. Well, a few years ago, it went totally vegan.
Yes.
They removed all animal products from that restaurant. I think maybe except for like honey with coffee or tea service. I don't know. But I mean, all of the dishes were veg based. Well, now they're going back to animals. This is an article in the New York Post. Basically, they talk about the history and the choice that they made. The head chef, whose last name is Hum, made the restaurant vegan in 2021.
Oh yeah.
But there was another restaurant that he was supposed to work at. Like they were going to use him to develop the menu there. And when he said he would only do a vegan menu, they said no, thank you. So I really think that this goes to show you that if you're not making money, the sort of ethics of your work goes out the window. I do think that the vegan choice was an ethical choice. And now they're realizing, well, you know what would make us more money is adding some poultry, which is what they plan to do. Starting on October 14th, 11 Madison Park's website says, in addition to our plant-based menu, we will offer select animal proteins for certain dishes, including fish, shellfish, and poultry. But this article does point out that there is no mention of beef. So it might still be a no cow establishment.
So it's just now a pescatarian restaurant,
And
if I'm using
chicken
that correctly.
and poultry.
Oh.
But as much as I do think that restaurants should nod to the trends that are happening, just have a few vegan dishes on your menu, on your tasting menu. You don't have to do the whole thing totally vegan because guess what? Trends change. Years ago, a decade ago, all those celebrities were doing that raw food diet. Everyone's like eating vegan. Everyone's going for it. But now I feel like everything I see, especially on social media, is like protein, specifically animal protein, because that has a lot of protein in it. And so we're just like this pendulum is swinging the opposite way. And for your business model, you can't, sometimes it's hard to swing so quickly. I know because I am a businesswoman.
Never heard either of those two words, business or woman, used when talking about you. So, but this chef, so here's the thing I'm confused about. This chef is obviously a vigilant vegan. Clearly, this is he defines himself as this, and I don't know what this Madison restaurant was thinking doing this. But he's still there. He is going to make these dishes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I remember after Fox News, I was like, well, I mean, thank God I don't have to ever talk about politics or deal with one side of politics ever again.
Yeah.
And no amount of money. Cut to a couple of years later. Hey, Compound Media, how are you? Right back. I mean, I wouldn't equate it to Fox News as far as all politics all the time, but there was a certain bent, and there was a lot of it. But yeah, when the coffers are a little light, things change. But I would certainly never make the mistake of announcing such a thing as Madison did. Like, we are only vegan and that's it. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and their 3-hour 9-course prefix meal starts at $350 a head, which I believe was pretty much the amount I paid when I had gone and there was meat on the menu, right? So it's like, duck costs a lot more than a head of cauliflower. I understand that you are paying for the expertise.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You're paying for the expertise of these chefs, right? They will make that cauliflower be the best cauliflower you have ever tasted in your life. It probably doesn't even taste like cauliflower, but it still feels a little wrong to charge that much for vegetables, But it is a Michelin-starred place, right? And a lot of people appreciate that and want to try that. And something that they mentioned in this article is, though, they try it, but they're not coming back. There's like thousands of restaurants in New York City. So if you can get a return customer, like it's actually pretty slim, but like that's the goal, right? Is to like get people to come back more than once.
Course.
So I don't know. We'll see.
And I know, and I'm like the only person in America that has yet to see the bear, but I know that was a big thing that he wanted to do, was to like, every day we're going to have like a new menu or something like that, which I don't know if actual restaurants do that, but that seems to be unsustainable.
Yeah, I mean, I know,
even for the big shoulders of Chicago.
Like seasonally, that makes sense. If you want the freshest, like best produce and stuff, that's going to change seasonally. But yeah, every day. I mean, I would hate to be that sous chef.
Yeah,
who's got to like prep and learn new things every day.
And even though I didn't get half the references, there was a this season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia has been on point. Chef's kiss.
I can't believe it's still on.
Oh, it's like 30 years old. It's crazy. But also their seasons are like 6 episodes.
Okay.
But they had one where Charlie Day basically does a parody of the bear. And, one of the things that he's insisting is he's just cooking and sweating and doing all the things that they do in the bear, quick cuts and yelling out orders and stuff like that, is that he's very insistent that everyone call him chef, which I guess they do in the show. Like, maestro if you're a composer, chef for Charlie. And it's very funny. It was worth checking out, as is the whole season.
Yeah, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. I feel like it was popular really during the same time of like Arrested Development, and I watched a lot more Arrested Development.
It's another one I've been revisiting, also pretty good as well.
Yeah,
I think when it's one of my Jason Bateman man crush started. But yeah, the whole season's very good. They go to Abbott. They're doing a lot of like mashups that they didn't used to do. Like one of them is every episode's title goes, the gang does this, the gang goes to there, the gang is up to whatever. And in this case, the gang goes to Abbott Elementary, and it's them with the whole cast.
Oh,
very different feels for both shows.
Oh, weird.
And it's the whole cast, and they're just still as awful as possible. I guess I'd never seen Abbott Elementary, but I guess they are also a Philly-based show, so I suppose it made sense in that end. But it's pretty good.
It's I've seen a few episodes of Abbott Elementary. It's funny, but yeah, the style is a little different.
Yes.
So,
like it was like Danny DeVito's character and I believe Charlie Day, when they were secretly trying to recruit for a boy band that they were making, and things get very inappropriate and go very wrong at Abbott Elementary while they're doing that. Lots of talk. Well, we need a bad boy. That is what really gets the eyes.
How old is Danny DeVito now?
Oh my God, he's got to be pushing 80.
That's wild.
Still
good for him.
But yeah, he's still despicable and amazing as always in the show. But yeah, I'm sure it doesn't age people, because God, only a couple seasons ago, he was naked and hiding within the upholstery of a couch. And then finally they throw a bunch of grease in there or something to try to get him out. And it's basically they're reinterpreting birth because he's naked. He's got all this grease on him, and he's coming out of the couch like the couch is a giant vagina, and it's just pretty much exactly what you're thinking. But the whole time you're watching, like, how old is this guy?
Funny.
He's like, it's never seen anything like it.
Well, speaking of rebirth,
boy, this will be good.
One might say recovery from addiction to heroin and cocaine could be like a rebirth of your life.
I guess one could say that. I still say it's a terrible
segue.
Yeah.
So you found this.
I'm glad that you're reading it, though, because there's no way in hell I would be pronouncing this woman's last name or really first name correctly. So I'd like to see you give it a go.
Salavitz?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's Salavitz, so perhaps you are pronouncing it correctly.
So this is an article from Newser, an op-ed by Maya Salavitz.
I think she wrote in the Times. News
originally.
Sort of an aggregate site, yes.
Got it. She writes, recovery doesn't always mean abstinence. She is in recovery from addiction to heroin and cocaine that nearly wrecked her life 40 years ago. But in a New York Times essay, she writes that she still enjoys the occasional glass of wine with dinner and sometimes takes a marijuana gummy to help her sleep. She writes, though definitions vary, many experts now agree. If substance use no longer interferes with your ability to live a productive and loving life, then recovery has been achieved, with or without abstinence. The problem is that the idea of total abstinence is so embedded in rehab programs such as AA that it might deter those who could otherwise improve their lives. Since I began my recovery journey nearly 40 years ago, we've learned an enormous amount. It's like she's on The Bachelor, the journey. We've learned an enormous amount about how to help people get better. It would be tragic to turn our backs on this knowledge now, just as overdose deaths are finally starting to fall. Bill, I know why you picked this article.
I don't even remember doing it. I thought you did.
You know, it would be like me picking an article saying loving John Mayer is good for your health.
Yes.
Something to that equivalent. Yeah. Abstinence, I don't think is for you, Bill. I would agree with that. However,
some people don't.
And it does depend on the person. It would seem that those with an addictive personality or addiction issues can't stop at one glass of wine. Like, that's kind of what I have heard from those who are addicts.
You just tuned me off. I'm thinking about other things now.
Is that they can't have a healthy relationship with substances. So that's why abstinence is necessary. It's one extreme or the other. Bill, what were your thoughts when you found this article?
Well, Joe, it's a bit like opening a restaurant and saying, we're only going to be vegan.
Yeah.
You're already putting yourself into a corner that you're going to eventually probably feel the need to get out of. Well, and you and I sometimes go to the West Coast, not call it the best coast, but we say terms like California sober. More and more when I go there, I realize for them, for obvious reasons, it's just sober. I mean, I know so many people there that are in recovery or just sober, all that stuff, but they're California sober. They're not doing the main thing that they had an issue with, but they're still doing everything else. And that has been slowly, and I think one of the few good things that has come out of California, but it's been bleeding its way throughout the rest of America as far as people's rethinking what recovery might be.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have a mutual friend that used to have a pretty big meth issue. Recovery. I went to a rehab a bunch of times, and said friend is luckily, knock wood, not doing that anymore. But he drinks, know, and I don't think he smokes as much weed anymore. That he might feel that is somehow kind of a gateway. But yeah, he does a lot of other stuff, but he doesn't do that anymore. And so but people are more and more realizing that it doesn't have to be that hard and fast a rule. And like so much of that is to be also because like if you're in say AA, they always say, oh, you don't, it doesn't need to be God. It could be some other higher power. That's a big but because just the whole religious aspect of it, and there is a lot, is like just marinated within all of so many of the 12 steps and things like that. It's just like, it's everyone's got their own path in their journey, Joe.
Yeah.
And sometimes doing the work, if you will, in order to hashtag be better, requires that you have different parameters than other people on their paths and journeys.
Yeah. Actually, I really equate it to different acting methods.
Okay, I like that.
Actors have various sort of schools they might go to, techniques that they use to deliver a great performance. We know I'm highly against method acting, which I would call the meth of acting.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
Somebody's had their coffee.
I think it's really destructive. I think it's really harmful to not only the actor, but everyone around the actor.
And their family members.
Yep. Truly. God, this is such a good analogy.
Yeah. I hate that it is.
But, you might dabble in certain recoveries or certain acting methods, and you find the thing that works for you because no two people are the same. Their addictions are not the same. And whatever it is that does get you to live a healthier life, I'm all for it.
Well, you're right. And that's very open-minded of you. And thank you for giving me complete and total permission to act exactly the same way for the rest of my, I'm sure, very long life. But the other thing, too, that I've seen with a lot of people, particularly in AA, and that really subscribe to all those steps and embrace all the mantras and all that stuff, is there is also a bit of a jealousy or maybe even a fear of hanging out with people that have somehow figured it out, that can have a couple of drinks, after having, or, every once in a while dabble in the cocaine or the marijuana or whatever their big predilection was. And they've just sort of like, rewired their brain to the point where they can do a couple. And with those types of recoveries, they always ingrain into you, you can't. You can't. There's no such thing as just a couple of drinks. And then they'll always add stuff like, sure, maybe the first year or second year you probably can, but you'll always go back, and they'll give you all sorts of different timelines. And so much of it is because many people can't, and it is, I'm using so many of the buzzwords today, triggering for them to have just one of whatever it is. But some people can, and that drives them nuts. And so that's why they want that rule for everybody.
What I've always appreciated, I have a few sober friends, and the ones who don't care what you do.
Oh, yes.
And when your behavior doesn't trigger them, I think that is so great. And someone who's really great at that is Courtney Friel, who we've had on the podcast before.
Yeah.
She has been sober now. I mean, I think
so long,
over a decade.
Yes, very much so.
She's written a book about her journey. She loves to throw parties and have everyone else drink, but she'll also have, like, for herself or her other sober friends, like non-alcoholic booze, like non-alcoholic options. And I think that's great. I think it's, the limiting idea. It's the lifestyle too, right? Like, people, I think oftentimes a hard part about the sobriety is this idea of like, my life is going to change. And it's like, yeah, your life could change for you, but it doesn't have to totally change your whole social vibe, unless it's triggering.
Right. And for a lot of people, which I get, it is, I have but one friend that's a little like with Friel and drinking, but in this case, it's Ann Coulter. And Ann is the only friend I have. Everyone hates smoking. I hate that I still smoke. I can't believe I'm 50 and I still do. And I deserve all of the misfortune I'm going to get and have. But Ann is the only former smoker I've ever met in my entire life who wants to be as close to me as possible when I light up a cigarette. And she just breathes it in and looks at me and pretends like it was her. I mean, she quit when she was 40, which of course wasn't that long ago. But yeah, no, she just, she loves everything about it, and loves watching me do it and talking about it. And I wonder if in a weird way Courtney's like that with her parties and everything. But I think there is a subset that's the exact opposite of, say, the
Yeah.
AA.
I think if I were ever to get sober, or like if I ever get pregnant, I'm going to be insufferable when I'm around my friends who are drinking, and I'm going to be like, please, okay, what's the bouquet of the wine smell like? Describe it to me. Okay, now take a little sip.
Oh, I
All
can see
right.
this. Yes. Yeah.
The viscosity of the wine. Describe that for me. Okay, great. How like dry is it? Okay, fabulous. Now, what fruit notes are you getting? Any earth, like any minerality? I'm going to be insufferable.
I still think that you should do some sort of sommelier course, you know?
I've thought about it, but it's way expensive. And what am I going to do with it? Just continue to work in a restaurant for the rest of my life?
Well, you do it just for you. Because you're interested in that crap.
Yeah, I don't have
You're interested
fuck
in
you
viscosity.
money. That's what you need is the fuck you money. It's the money where you're like,
I don't even know what it entails, but I'm sure it is probably
I think
pretty
it was
expensive.
like $9,000 for a like 4-month course to become a level 1 sommelier.
Hey,
Outrageous.
that's the price of one course at Madison Restaurant. See what I
know.
did there?
Nice. Yes. That's great. That's
Man,
great.
we are on point today.
We really are. It must be, what did they say? With age comes wisdom?
I'm still waiting for that. Sometimes I don't even know if I know what wisdom means. But one thing that has also always confused me is whatever in the hell kind of type that you have with regards to the opposite sex. But I got a clue on my birthday. Believe it or not, Joe did actually remember and sent me a half-assed text. And I was very surprised by this, but it was kind of funny, but it was just a weird gif of Dean Cain as in his Superman outfit, with red tighty whities and everything, holding a cake that was very much horrible fire. It was very much the cake it wasn't just lit by candles. It was just a gigantic forest fire on top of this cake. And he's just like that. And then you said, I was like, I was just saying very tasty. And you had a different thought of what was tasty in that. And I'm like, oh, wow. She thinks Dean Cain is like, I put that in a category of apparently part of your type.
No, see, I think you misunderstood why I selected this meme for you for your birthday.
Oh, you wanted me to be on fire.
No. So it was actually very thoughtful. I know you like superheroes and comic book characters. So that was Superman. Okay. And then you're really old, which means there's a whole lot of candles, 50 on the top of a cake, which means the cake just looks like it's on fire. And so that's what that meme was presenting to you, was the fact that you are an old man-child.
Actually pretty obvious and simple like yourself, and I really didn't even put two and two together.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a weird meme that you liked.
But then we both also, I mean, I've met Dean Cain before. Have you?
Sure. Yeah. He used to be on Red Eye a lot.
From Red Eye
By
days.
the way, I think he's joining up for ICE now.
Yeah. I was like, he's now doing something with this administration in some capacity. I mean, listen, their sign-on bonus is, I think, $50,000 right now. So, what's the last movie Dean Cain did? I don't know. I don't know how hard money is. So,
yes.
Which is also funny because this was the last episode of South Park that they just put out, was about ICE becoming an ICE agent. Now they just let anyone do it, and they give you all this money. It's
did they have someone voicing Dean Cain in the?
No, Dean Cain was not in it. That I'm aware of. I mean, these cartoon ICE agents are wearing masks, so I don't know.
There it is. Yeah. Ooh, they are very much superheroes. But
yeah,
yes,
nice.
No, we would go out to Lands with Dean back in the day. I certainly remember the hair and makeup girls being big Dean Cain fans. I think at the time he was promoting a Bigfoot show that he was hosting. Don't you know?
Oh, yes.
The Search for Bigfoot or something like that.
Yes.
And it was always hilarious if we got for drinks afterwards, and we'd be like, he was very professional when he would be on and sort of talk about all the reasons why Bigfoot probably could exist. And then you go to Lane's with him for a drink afterwards. Like, so, I mean, do you really believe that, like, there's a Bigfoot out there? He's like, fuck no. There's no, just the idea that there was never a corpse on the side of the road. So dismissive, but a buck's a buck, people.
I have a theory. What
Please.
if Bigfoot and Banksy are the same person?
There are theories about that are pretty substantiated of who Banksy is, and now I forget who it is, but it's like semi-famous punk. He's in a semi-famous punk band, but
who's also Bigfoot.
Who's also Bigfoot.
Yeah,
yeah, and he's very hairy and about 8'2".
Yeah,
I don't know if that has anything to do with your theory, but I like it, and I like the fact that Bigfoot has a talent for graphic arts, so that's good.
Listen, let's not pigeonhole people. Just because you have big feet doesn't mean you can't spray paint.
Usually big feet's something to brag about if you're a dude.
Oh, boy. All right, Bill, what do you got? What do you have going on? Where can people see you? Speaking of big feet, walking on your tours.
Yeah, and it's been very hard to find shoes to cover my feet, apropos of nothing. But yes, go on Bowery Boys Tours. Bowery Boys Walks and find the Turtle Bay Tour. I'm also available and sort of slowly but surely starting to book private tours. They can be bespoke, but I do a lot of South Street Seaport. Still this area in New York, people. Lots of Revolutionary War stuff. We can turn it into an old tavern crawl if that is your deal, unless you're on the 12 steps and not California sober. And then really quickly, because I am a follower and I just do whatever Joe has already done, I will be in Boston on September 30th. Go to the Paul Revere House.org. I'm not good at plugging, but if you just go to the Paul Revere House website, September 30th, I'll be there to talk about all things William Dawes. He rode with Paul as well, and he's my 7th great-grandfather. So I'm going to school all these Revere adherents. That was almost a rhyme. Joe, what do you
won't
got?
revere them. You will, right?
That was in the deck of an article I wrote about William Dawes for the Daily Beast.
Beautiful.
William Dawes' descendant doesn't revere or something like that.
Yeah.
See?
Very good.
She hates it, people.
Wait,
we're pretty similar.
I have a good business idea for you with your private walking tours. I feel like so many activities and opportunities for bachelorette parties.
Oh,
what if you market the bachelor parties in New York City? There's got to be some like history buff dudes who want to do like tavern tours downtown.
I would say most dudes are like that. Yes. No, I love that. That's great.
So like, I don't know how you would go about that, but something to think about.
And I got to talk with some of these web people that are helping me with my own thing, and that's a great point. Thank you. That's my birthday present.
You're welcome. Here's some more, you Joe. All right, so I have gone further in the Billy Joel documentary. Oh, wow. I thought I was a fan until I realized after Christy Brinkley, he got married again, divorced, and then married again and had two kids.
The fear of being alone for some people. Yeah.
He has 2 more children, unless he now has more, because I still don't think I finished it. But, wow. Good for him.
Some people can't be alone. And I just don't understand it.
Well, I think he said as much. He doesn't want to like die alone.
Yeah, but you know what? We all die alone.
Yeah.
That's the more you bill.
Unless you're in a cult and you die together.
Yeah, it was that Haley Bob cult. They all did die after poisoning themselves. So there is that. Join a cult, people, if you've learned anything on this. Real quick, I do have a recommendation for you.
Okay.
The CNN docuseries, don't worry, it's just 2, on JFK Jr. Really good.
Huh.
He had he had a very page 6 life before he went down on the old plane.
Yeah.
And so I think you'll be interested in all that. And also, this is insane. Weirdly, Banana and Ann Coulter focused podcast. She worked for George in a freelance capacity. That was his political magazine. That was sort of like a mix of Vanity Fair, and like he made it very glossy and all that stuff. And she and JFK Jr. were pretty good friends. I was always surprised that they didn't date because his type was tall, lanky blondes. But obviously politically they didn't really agree on a lot. But she got hired as for full time at George. And the day that she goes to the New York offices in his Chet Philippaki, which weirdly enough was the same offices I ended up working at for a startup, and they still weirdly had all the George posters up and stuff like that. The day she gets there, the plane goes down.
Wow.
The minute she moves to New York, yes, yeah. And then,
what do you think is the significance of that?
Nothing. It's just a weird story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're not saying she was responsible.
Harbinger of doom, perhaps.
Okay. Well,
no, I'm not saying it. I'm trying to keep an open mind. California sober on that one.
Yeah, you're 50. You're open-minded. Gosh, things are changing for you.
This is all whiskey.
Oh, well, on that note, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Oh, I'm sure glad that's over.
That's all for this episode of Mornin with Bill and Joanne.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Shut up, Bill.
Subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, I wasn't listening either.
Very nice, Joanne. Touché.
For videos of this and other episodes, go to @MorninBillAndJoe on YouTube.
Bill, put the sword down.
Run, Joanne, run! Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would do it for you. Okay, that's a lie.
I never liked your show.
Sorry, wasn't listening. See ya.